All right, guys, what is up, everybody? It has been a long hiatus. One of the hardest things that I've ever done is make this rear fender modification, and let me tell you why. No worries, the video's coming. You can see what I went through to get this mod done, but we're just going to take a ride around this the neighborhood right now just to make sure that everything's in working order before I get on one of my back roads or on the highway. But it's done, and let me say exactly why I feel like this is one of the hardest things that I've ever done. So when I set out to do this, I thought I did all my research. I thought I did my homework, so I thought I had everything squared away, and I was not correct. It's been almost 3 weeks since I started this mod, and this is the first time I'm riding my bike in almost 3 weeks, and that's the longest I've ever gone. But this time, this mod has had my bike laid out for almost 3 weeks. The last thing that was a big chore was the side-mounted license plate, so I ended up going with the aftermarket TC Brothers side-mount license plate bracket, and then the custom dynamics. They have these little bolts that you can use to screw in your license plate, but also serve as your lights to your license plate. And all along I thought, you know what, it's cool, I'll just not have a light on my license plate, and if I get pulled over, whatever. Not my thing. That's not how I roll. Seeing as I speak right now, there's a cop right there, and had I been riding around with no license plate lights on my license plate, he'd have grounds to pull me over. And I mean, that's the bottom line there. And again, I apologize for this video being in the dark, but I wanted to get all this stuff off my chest because it's something that I've been having to put up with and just let fester for weeks now. And this is like three of the longest weeks of my life. So we've got this light on because I'm guessing it's just because the 3 prongs wiring harness only has 2 wires hooked up to it. So there's a wire missing, so there's an open circuit technically, and my electrical indicator light is going to be on. And again, that's just something I'm going to deal with because and here's the other thing. I went into Harley with this whole wiring harness ordeal, and they told me if you want to get a wiring harness to fit the wide glide, so you'll have it situated correctly, it's like $600, and that's more than I paid for anything that I went back there. And I just wasn't willing to do that, so I did all the work myself. And really, I threw my hands up in the air when all the lights were on, when all the turn signals worked, the fender was on. I threw my hands up in the air and I cheered, because I mean, it's just been one of those things where I had to figure out all this stuff on my own. And I would say, you know, that I'm not going to blame, or I'm not going to put anything on Harley Davidson on this one, but I figured all of this stuff out on my own. Every time I would go in to say, hey, here's the problem that I have with the wiring on my bike, dude wants to get hit. Here's the problem that I have with the wiring on my bike. Can you help me out? And all of them kind of just shrugged their shoulders and were like, this is the wiring. Here's, we're looking at all these diagrams that I can look up online, and they just didn't have anything new for me. So I figured it out all on my own. And again, I'm no mechanic. This is why I'm riding my bike, just around town, because if I did anything wrong, I want to find out about it as I ride around the city, not on the highway. So we're gonna open it up a little bit here in a minute, and cross our fingers, because everything seems to be working fine. I tested all the turn signals, I tested the brake lights, everything's tightened to spec as far as torque goes, and the bike feels great. I mean, it doesn't feel, I mean, obviously it doesn't feel any different than it did before, because this wasn't a performance mod, but I'm just happy that it's over, and really proud of myself. Big pat on my back to that one guy for figuring it out. Now, I'm not trying to be a downer. I'm not trying to throw all my discouragement onto the viewers here. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm not a mechanic. I don't, you know, everything that I learn from YouTube, or I learn from, you know, people that I've talked to who work on bikes. If I can do this mod, you know, regardless of how long it took, because it took a long time, you know, actual work, all of this could have been done in like a day and a half, or maybe even a day. But if I can do this and I can figure this out, anybody can figure this out, really. If you've got patience and you've got and granted, you know, I had to do some of the splicing of the wires, but really that's not hard either. I took a couple electronics classes in college, so I had a little experience with soldering, but anybody can do it. The soldering iron was like $15 and the solder itself was like $5. So I mean, these are all things that you can go down to your local hardware store and purchase and do yourself. So don't be intimidated. If you want to do something on your bike, do your research, go online, and really everything's online now. So go online and figure out how to do it. Now, when I post this video, hopefully I'll get a lot of hits on it for people who want to make this mod on their bike. And I will say, you know, as big of a pain in the butt as this has been, hopefully this video that I put out in the coming weeks for you guys will help you in your process and help you realize that there's more to it than just swapping out the physical fender, and you know, that there's wiring that needs to be changed, and you know, be patient. That's my biggest thing. I have anxiety, really bad anxiety sometimes. So, and here we go. And doing this really brought my anxiety on. Not while I was working on the bike per se, but just the anxiety of everything being up in the air and not being able to ride. That riding is so therapeutic to me. I told my wife, because getting this thing done at the end here was a little bit stressful too. And she was like, are you asking me if I was doing all right? And I said, you know what? I just need to go out. I need to go ride. Once I ride, I'll be good. So here I am. I'm riding, I'm talking to you folks, and all is becoming right in my world right now. I'm getting out here, making sure everything's working fine. Let's see if I can turn around and you guys can get a little preview. I don't know if you can see that, but everything's on the tail light, or the lights are on my license plate. All is right. So that's my takeaway from this experience. As frustrating and as anxious as this whole experience has made me, and has been, the takeaway is that it can be done, and you don't have to be a mechanic, and you don't have to have a whole ton of experience to do something like this. So, it feels so good to ride my bike. Coming close to the end of my ride, the maiden voyage here with the new Fender, and we're good. So guys, if you like this video, this was therapeutic for you as well, go ahead and hit that like button down there, the little thumbs up, and if you're so inclined, hit the subscribe button. If if you want to catch one of my other videos, I'll put some links up as well. Guys, if you're riding, be safe, and if you're not riding, get riding. This is that one guy, and I'm out.